welcome back to Kevin Reviews. I just saw Weapons today, and at 217, because there's quite the reason behind that number, and something I easily picked up after before I actually saw the movie. Anyway, this is written and directed by Zach Krieger, and it stars Julie Gardner, Josh Brolin, Benedict Alden Ehrenreich. Reich. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably butchered it so much. And Amy Madigan. Um, so before going into the complete review, I remember that I think most of us know that this was advertised like crazy. The whole mystery behind why do these kids get up one day out of and after dark and decide to run out of their house with their arms up in the air in that fashion. And it's left a mystery, and I will say that I'm gonna try. I think this review is going to be short because I don't want to reveal too much on the mystery, though I may have certain elements in the story, like talking about the story a little bit. Its aesthetics, not plot points, but in any case. But I remember this was advertised quite a lot, and um, I honestly thought it was kind of funny. Granted, it doesn't appear that funny, but I mean, you have the kids with their arms out, just running, doing the Naruto run, and um, and and then you have the other trailers that showed like these adults or you know these characters that just go like kind of are bloody or big eye like crazy, going completely crazy, and so it's like, what is this, and why is it called Weapons? What does Weapons have to do with this particular horror movie? Um, and I won't. And yeah, it's pretty far out there. This is the same director who did Barbarian, which I haven't seen, but I heard it's pretty insane. And I'm not sure if it's a good or bad way, but it's pretty. But that's pretty much it. It's pretty insane. Um, but yeah. And so here are my thoughts. So I will say this. Um, this is probably the best year we've gotten out of horror movies in quite a while. I'm sure there's been other years, but I mean, after seeing Together and then hearing about some other horror films before that done very well, um, it's I think horror films are doing pretty well this year. Not always, but I mean, like I know what you did last summer, 2025, but you know, overall, I think it's doing well, and this is no exception. This is a very good movie. It's directed well. It's the story is great. The way it's told is also great. The characters are good. They're great. I will say they're great. Um, they don't they there's not much to them. But it does focus. It does try to stay focused on the story, for the most part. So I mean that's good. That's good. The scares are also it got me a couple times. And I don't know if I told you, I may have, that I don't like loud jump scares. So oftentimes, if I sense it coming, I have to plug my ears for it. Or maybe I am afraid of jump scares, and it just that kind of helps muffle it, or make me not jump as much. But in any case, there are good scares. Um, there is there is some blood, gore that doesn't quite happen until later, like maybe a little bit in the second and definitely in the third half of the film. Um, but yeah, I there's not a ton I could complain about. I mean, there's a couple, but there's not a ton. But I will say this about the storytelling. And first, fair warning: while I'm not going to give any like major spoilers, like what happened in the movie, I may talk about like, what the story is like, how it's set up, and to be. So I mean, if you just want to see the movie yourself, so you can keep the mystery or the way the film wants to be shown, click out now and go see the movie, and then come back later, because that's totally fine. Um, but in any case, the story is interesting. It's the way it's told, because it's told from an out of order perspective kind of storytelling, where it's we have the time in which the kids get out of the rooms, got out of the houses, and ran and never came back, and now we see go from each character's perspective on what happened, trying to piece together what happened to these kids. And some of them don't seem that important overall, but they become integral part in the story. Um, and and I think it's really good at doing that. Again, I wish the characters were a bit better and more developed. There is hints of it, like the teacher, for example, seems like a really caring, loving teacher who would do anything to help the kids. But she's not all that perfect, because there is a bit of a backstory behind her, um, that shows that she's got some issues as a teacher. And granted, we're humans, so we're not always that perfect. Um, and Josh Brolin is really good as the father, who tries to figure out what's going on. Um, I mean, those are the two main ones. I think that's mainly focused on the movie in general, but there are more characters. They do play a part in the movie. Um, I will also say the tone. The tone, like I said with Barbarian, even if I haven't seen it, this one's this tone of the movie can be kind of all over the place, but in a good way, because it is a horror film. It keeps that horror tone, but at times it can be pretty funny. It it has kind of a pretty sick, not sick exactly, but interesting humor about it. Like, yeah, I don't want to reveal. I really want to, but I don't at the same time. But in any case, there is just the way it's the writing and the writing and the tone of the film. It just makes it pretty laugh out loud. Maybe not laugh out loud, but makes you laugh quite a bit, especially in the ending, where it gets pretty bonkers crazy. Um, but yeah, I think it's really good. The other, if there are complaints that I have, the intro is one of them, because it basically just retells the story through narration that we've seen in the trailers. And frankly, I think that would have been good if um, if we hadn't seen that in the trailers and this was here, that may be fine. But because we heard this story, this setup, it doesn't feel like it's needed anymore. It's like, just show it to us and just keep it that way, and then we can put the pieces together later, because this is a mystery. You don't I mean, you want to be told kind of clues, but but you don't want to like be given you know this manual kind of thing, just kind of help set it up, because that's where you want to that's for the books to do. For this one, you want it to be shown, and you put the pieces together based on what you see. And um but yeah, the narration doesn't go on very long, so it's not a huge problem. But I mean, it did kind of take me out of the film for a bit. Some of its music choices is also interesting, because even in the intro, they have it set on easy listening type song that doesn't at all um, gel with the horror aspect of the kids just running out and whatever. But I think it knows that, and knows what it is and what it wants to be, even if it is crazy about being that. But yeah, I think I'm sorry if I'm stuttering or I'm all over the place. I do feel like I'm all over the place at times, but I mean I just saw this and it is pretty intense, crazy, and I'm also trying to make sure I don't spoil anything for those who have not seen it. Um, I mean, if I were to do a spoiler, um, you know, maybe do a spoiler video. I don't know if I will do a spoiler video, but um, for it because I don't want to keep going or repeating certain things multiple times. But I don't know. I mean, if you want me to do a spoiler review, I will do a spoiler review and see how that goes. Um, but all in all, I think I'm gonna give Weapons 4.5, 4.5 stars. Um, I highly recommend it. You see it in theaters. But yeah, overall, I have my ticket here, and this will go in my ticket drop box. So, uh, so yeah. Um, again, I apologize if I'm stuttering so much and trying to collect things, and not trying to give too many spoilers. Um, I'm hoping to get a script so I can do it better, but I don't know. I kind of like just thinking and be able to talk about it, just as is and just going off by script because it feels more genuine, I guess. But it might be tiring for people to hear me say or but or like or whatever, But in any case, but what do you think? Put a like in the comments. If you like the video, give a like. If you don't like it, that's fine. And subscribe. I will also mention that I'm gonna have an update video here in around the same, probably out on Saturday, or Saturday or Sunday, um, depending on how I can get these reviews up. But yeah, it's just going to be a quick update video overall. So, um, but yeah, I hope you all have a good day, good night, and we'll see you in the next review. Bye.